me up. We are originally Okanagan indigenous tribe, and right now we are going for hunting camp, not so far from Vernon. So you will gather like 50 people or something like that, yes? On your camp?
Yeah, I would say probably at least 50 people, maybe more, throughout the next 2 weeks. And yeah, we'll set up a camp, a base camp, and we'll go out. There'll be several vehicles, and they'll go out in every direction. Each vehicle will go in a different direction. We'll go out twice a day. One morning hunt before sunup, and then they come back around noon, have lunch, sit around for a couple hours, and then they'll go out before evening. So they'll go out twice a day. And they travel the mountains in every direction. Every day they go somewhere different. So.
Yeah. And you teach the younger generation about your traditions and culture and rituals, right?
Yes, because we're trying to get our culture back, and we teach them how to provide for our community. We teach them how to clean and kill and clean a deer, to dress it. We teach them how to cut it up, right? Our ceremonies, our rituals, right?
So how many indigenous people in Penticton, for example?
In our Penticton Indian band, which we call it, there are about probably 11 to 1,500 band members.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's very good, and now we are having rain on the way.
I had my son here landed when I met his mom. I cleaned up, I was doing good, and then I fell back into drugs again. And then she didn't like it, so she left me, which is good, because we don't want that around her children or my son, right? Because she had her own children too. So a few years after that, I don't know how many years went by, but my son ended up in care with his sister. Now he lost both me and his mom. So his mom started doing drugs again. So I said, no, my son can't lose us both. I said, I'm gonna quit. So I'm 5 years clean from my addiction. And I got my son back. He's living with me and I'm raising him as a single father. Right? So my son has had a good life. We didn't do that stuff around him. He didn't see what I seen. Right? He didn't see the abuse from the residential school. That's what did it. And I got to remember that. That I was born at a time when the residential school effects were into my community and in my family. So I got to remember that, I had a rough life because of the school, because of the residential school. Right? It wasn't because of my parents. Because they were forced to go and where they were abused. And
it's all against of human rights.
Yes. So now I separate that generation from my son, who's the next generation who didn't have to go through that. He's the first one in my family, in our generation, that doesn't have to live through that. He might see some effects of it now, or hear about it, like through me and my family members, my community, but he doesn't have to live through that like we did, like I did, like my parents especially, like my uncles. So we're trying to break that, and we're trying to get our culture back and our people back.
To recover.
Yeah. It's going to take, 7 generations, they say. It's going to take a while, but we're working towards it now.
You lost so many people.
Yeah.
Even if not physically, but mentally.
Yeah, spiritually, they're broken. Right? So when you see a native and he's downtown and he's a drug addict or alcoholic, you know he went through abuse. His family suffered physical, mental, sexual abuse. A lot of them didn't make it. Right? A lot of my friends are still struggling with it. Right? So I became clean. I became sober. I don't do drugs, and now I do outreach. Now I do outreach. I help people who are addicted.
You support people.
Yeah, I support. I give support. So I'm on the board of directors for the Okanagan Friendship Center. I'm also on the board of directors for the Penticton Overdose Prevention Society.
Oh, very good.
And I do volunteer work. And I also do volunteer work on the reserve to help people who are still struggling with addiction. Right? So I do the work now because I lived that life, and I can help people who are still there.
You experienced it, so
Yes.
you know how.
Elders are kept for knowledge, kept in wisdom.
So this is natural water spring on the native land, and it's one of the best water in the world, as people believe. And from the experience of local indigenous people, the charity water story. Don't just hope, decide. So before indigenous people take this water, they make some ritual and leave some tobacco or something in exchange of having this water. This is the Moose Lake, 60 kilometers away from Jasper. So it's under the ice, it's frozen till the beginning of July. So this afternoon I hitchhiked from Kamloops all the way to Jasper with the woman Jennifer. She's waiting for me in the car. So time is 5:30 and I'm near Jasper. This morning I started to hitchhike from Vernon at 8:30, and at 6 p.m. I arrived to Banff. Distance was 550 kilometers, so from Kamloops I hitchhiked with a woman Jennifer all the way to Jasper. So this day in this area is a bit cloudy, but hopefully I will be lucky with the weather in the next days. Jasper is a small town, population here maybe around 6,000 people, something like that. And I already can see beautiful mountains. It's 4th of October, time is 9:30, and I'm on my way to Athabasca Glacier. So this morning I met Ivan and Claudia from Mexico. We also go to Athabasca Glacier.
Hello.
And now we stopped at Athabasca Pass to enjoy this beautiful view. And it's not extremely cold. Yes, and we enjoy to see these beautiful autumn colors. Maybe plus 10 degrees, something like that. At 11 a.m. I came to Columbia Icefield Discovery Center. So from here is the beginning of trail to Athabasca Glacier Foots. So you can walk 1.7 kilometers to the bottom of the glacier, and also there are tours which bring you by bus on the glacier. So this Mexican couple, they went to take this bus. Along the trail I can see signs mark where the glacier was in the past. So glacier was here in 1925. So it's melting, that's why Athabasca Glacier gets smaller and smaller. I think the best view is from distance, so you can see all panorama. Athabasca Glacier is behind me, and this is the furthest point you can walk. And this is already fence. I see buses right on the glacier. It's a tour buses, and I also see some people walk. But as I said, if you're just a regular hiker, you can go only till this point. And unfortunately, this morning the weather is not so clear, but it's still good. So Athabasca Mountain and Andromeda Mountains are behind me, and these mountains are almost 4,000 meters. Mountain Athabasca, Mountain Andromeda, Athabasca Glacier, Mountain Snow Dome, Glacier Dome, Mountain Kitchener, and Sunwapta Lake. So the weather becomes more and more clear, so I can see peaks of these mountains. And the average they are 3,500 meters. This is Sunwapta Lake on the way to Athabasca Glacier. Actually, it is part of the glacier in the past. And in the weather becomes better and better. I need to go just 8 kilometers to the beginning of my next trail, but I'm waiting on the road already for half an hour. Nobody stopped. And now it's snowy. Not so cold, but still it is snowy. 1 p.m. and I started my hike on Parker Ridge Trail. 2.7 kilometers with elevation 300 meters. And I saw quite many cars at the parking lot. This is the first viewpoint on Parker Ridge Trail. 500 meters more to the end of the trail. Down there is Saskatchewan Glacier. And over there is the end of the trail. Hike to the end of Parker Ridge Trail took 40 minutes, and for me it was an easy hike, and the view is is amazing, so I highly recommend this trail. Even from here I can see beautiful small lake down there and this amazing Saskatchewan glacier. Now it's a bit windy, but in general it's okay. At 3:30 I started another trail to the Wilcox Pass viewpoint. 3 kilometers with elevation 400 meters, and it's opposite side from Athabasca Glacier. After 50 minutes I reached Wilcox Pass, 2370 meters. So if I will keep on going in this direction, after 8 kilometers I will reach the highway. But I better go to the Wilcox viewpoint, so it will be just 3 kilometers from there to go back to the road. Because time is already 4:30, so I need to hurry up a little bit. So this is Wilcox Pass. 5 p.m. and I'm at Wilcox viewpoint. Now I can see the clear view of Athabasca Glacier and all these peaks. And it's quite funny because in the morning the weather was much worse than now. It was rainy, cloudy, snowy, windy, so at 5 p.m. weather is better than in the morning. So I will spend here just 10 minutes and I will go down because I need to hitchhike 100 kilometers back to Jasper. So it was a beautiful day and I hope I will be safe on the way down. It's a moose.
No, it's a caribou.
Caribou, yeah. So today I saw this caribou. Maybe at the same spot actually. So they can be dangerous also? Yes.
Yeah.
Especially now in this maiden season.